I'll go ahead and call this regularly scheduled meeting to order. Let's go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Krushat,
Here.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Here.
Commissioner Walker,
Here.
Vice Chair Dixon,
Here.
Chair Palahana,
Here.
all present.
All right. These proceedings may be viewed on demand in the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going on the city website and clicking on the meeting's agendas link. Now is the time for public comments. So this is the time for the public to address the Planning Commission on issues within the jurisdiction of the Commission and not on the printed agenda. All comments are to be directed to the chair of the Commission and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional and courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out a name and address slip and hand it to our Planning Commission secretary. The Planning Commission is prohibited by the Brown Act state law from taking action or discussing at length items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of that item on the agenda. Do you have anybody here to speak not on an agenda item? Alrighty. Commission comments and reports of meetings attended. Mendoza?
I have none.
Thank you. Dixon?
I have none as well.
Krushat?
Nothing significant to report.
No, thanks. And
Nothing for me as well.
I have also not attended any meetings since our last. Moving on to our consent calendar, we have item 1, approval of the Planning Commission meeting minutes of July 19, 22. Everybody have a chance to look them over?
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dixon,
Aye.
Chair Palahana,
Aye.
5-0 approved.
Thank you. We don't have any items removed for our consent calendar for discussion. Let's move into our public hearing for CUP 22, lot of 0s and a 3, conditional use permit for the site plan and design review for 2 home suites.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Commission. As you mentioned, this is a conditional use permit and a site plan and design review for Home 2 Suites. The applicant is Robert F. Tuttle Architects on behalf of Verdant 29 Palms, LLC. Current use of the property is vacant, and the proposed use of the property would be hotel. The location is on the southwest corner of Freedom Way and the Paseo de Mara. Zoning of the property is downtown traditional. The size is about 1.8 acres and is not in a flood zone. Just to refresh your memory, the downtown traditional zone, the main purpose is to maintain that traditional Main Street development pattern, supporting a pedestrian-oriented district full of outdoor dining, retail, visitor amenities, and high-quality public realm. The laundromat that was approved last meeting came under that zone as well. So to achieve that, it has reduced setbacks to allow the buildings to be adjacent to the sidewalk and that very traditional Main Street approach. Elimination of on-street parking requirement, if provided, it's to the side and the rear. Increased requirement for shade on parking and high-quality architecture and landscape architecture. So this is aerial of the site location. A little bit dated. You can see that this is probably just when Project Phoenix was getting under construction. To the east is Freedom Way, previously called Yucca Avenue. This is the site where we have the City of 29 Palms Community Center, the Joshua Tree National Park Cultural Center, and the stage. To the north is a public parking lot that's now since been landscaped along with the businesses fronting Route 62. To the west, we have additional public parking as well as some single-family residential, and to the south, it's mostly residential. This is the zoning map. It's zoned downtown traditional. The site is, as was everything around it. This is some photos of the site. So this is looking southwest, really at the corner of Freedom Way and the Paseo de Mara. And this is a photo looking south from the Paseo, with the community center there on the east side. And this is a photo of the site looking east towards the community center. And then this is a photo of the site looking north. You can see it's all cleared, no vegetation, mostly flat. So the proposal is to build a 3-story, 95-room hotel, about 52,520 square feet. Parking, while not required in the downtown traditional zone, the applicant has chose to provide parking on this site so as not to impact the public spaces. So they are providing 92 spaces on site plus another 11 public parking spaces on Tamarisk Avenue with those improvements. The floor area ratio is 0.71. The site will be serviced by the package treatment plant, which will start construction hopefully soon. Stormwater management is through both underground and above ground basins. There is a requirement for trash enclosures either on site or nearby. We left a little flexibility there because we're looking at the potential for a communal enclosure on the parking lot on the west side of Tamarisk. Soon the state will start issuing its organics recycling, and we're a little concerned about the smells that may come from organics recycling in our hot summer heat. So we want some flexibility on placing that. The applicant is required to make street improvements along Tamarisk Avenue, along their frontage there. This is the enhanced street improvement, so that includes the ornamental lighting that we have downtown as well as the street trees. Also, there's a little piece of Freedom Way that they would need to improve as well. All outdoor lighting is to be dark sky compliant. So the hotel is proposed with 55 king rooms and 40 double queen rooms. Each room would have a mini fridge, microwave, sink. Hot plates can be checked out at the front desk. Some of the hotel amenities include a serving dining area. This is where they provide a light breakfast in the morning. A little market area that would sell sundries to guests, a business center, a laundry area for guests as well, pool and exercise room, and then patio with lounges and fire tables at the front entrance. Other features include a low water use fountain there at the corner of Freedom Way and Paseo de Mara, and some wall art on the structure. The proposed building height is 38 feet to the main parapet and 42 feet to the highest point of the step parapet. So the applicant, as you'll see, is proposing sort of the Adobe style architecture with the step parapets. So that's why we're giving you those measurements. This compares to the community center, which is 33 feet to the highest parapet. I would just note, when we were building the community center, we had to treat it like a 3-story building per the fire code. So this is an illustrative site plan, and just want to spend a little time here and compliment the applicant on what they've done. So they really sort of got the vision of Freedom Way and creating that Main Street feel for the development. Starting with the building massing, so it's up against the streets, Freedom Way and the Paseo de Mara. The massing continues down Freedom Way and a little bit there on the Paseo de Mara, with the parking there to the rear. Some landscape areas here, a little garden next to the hotel, as well as stormwater management pond. And creating kind of this sort of public space here that will really sort of mirror the stage and the activity there. So the idea was, if you're looking down, Freedom Way, this structure, the hotel, would really mirror what you're seeing with the public structures on the other side of the road, so that you've got some balance and symmetry there. They've included a little outdoor patio there for guests, as well as the pool. So overall, good job in the massing. a lot of times in our profession, they bring you a box and say, work with this box. But this is really, designed from the ground up with the ideas, urban design ideas of the Project Phoenix in mind. This is the civil plan, just a little bit more detail here. The applicant will have an entrance off of Tamarisk Avenue here, and then a second entrance per the fire code off of Freedom Way. That entrance will line up to the service road behind the community center. We call it Tumbleweed Drive. So you'll have that ability to go through the site there. Parallel parking here along Tamarisk Avenue, so it's going to be widened and improved with curb gutter and sidewalk, as well as this portion of Freedom Way. Grading plan, this site slopes very gently to the south. Per our code, they are required to retain the stormwater runoff minus 10% pre-development, so they're doing that with a combination of both in-ground, underground stormwater management and a basin on the site. Utility plan, the site is well served by utilities. There's Edison Electric Vault here, which also serves the community center. Telecom from both Freedom Way and also the Paseo de Mara. Sewer service off of the Paseo, and then water service off of Tamarisk Avenue. This is a diagram of the first floor, and we'll show how they've sort of really tried to create that connection, both from the front of the building to the back of the building. We talk about the two front doors with the businesses in Project Phoenix having that main entrance on 62, but also the back entrance off of the Paseo. They've kind of mimicked that whole concept here, where this would be really the main entrance as far as guests arriving. There's a porte cochere that's proposed here, but you would have the views really through that common space out to Freedom Way and the Paseo, along with the fountain there is kind of a focal point. Inside the first floor, you have your reservation desk, a lobby, a little market area, some communal tables, the dining breakfast area here, and then offices for staff, housekeeping, laundry, elevator bank, those sorts of things, and then of course the rooms start on either wing. Second floor is all rooms, a mixture again of the king and double queen rooms. And the third floor is almost the same, just mirroring that. Of course, space for housekeeping and utility, that sort of thing. On the landscape plan, again, they try to complement what we've done in Project Phoenix with the landscaping, using a lot of the same materials. On the tree side, that includes the California fan palm, thornless mesquite, desert willow, palo verde. Shrubs include purple threon, rush milkweed, fairy duster, red yucca, Texas sage, Mojave sage, and rosemary. For the ground cover, proposing Palm Springs gold, decomposed granite, and then 3 to 6 inch fractured rock on native earth. So this is the landscaping plan. You can see kind of the little garden area here by the building. The street tree plantings that will be required of the applicant along Tamarisk Avenue. In addition, trees throughout the parking lot to provide shade there, as well as landscaping elsewhere along the perimeter of the site. And then this is a little bit more detail there for the hotel's main entrance here. Like I said, there's seat walls here, as well as some planter areas out front, the pool area, landscaping, and then the seat wall here as well. So on the architecture side, again, they really understood what we were trying to achieve with Project Phoenix to make the architecture local. We understand people need to build modern buildings, but we like to have a nod to our historical architecture, including the high desert adobe as well as the frontier. And so that's what we use for the public buildings in Project Phoenix, and they've really taken that style and applied it to the hotel. So they included things like the step parapets on the top of the roof, stucco exterior with the wood siding, heavy timber canopies and porches, the corrugated Core-10 steel that we're using for their awnings and canopies, vigas at the front of the building, and then the outdoor room concept. I believe you have, Greg, maybe the color board you can pass around. So the colors they're proposing are desert colors of rust, beige, and sand. These aren't the exact same ones that were used in Project Phoenix, but they're very complementary of them. So, you know, a little bit different there. There is very good articulation in the building's walls, so it's definitely, you know, not the box. And then the angled front entrance of the building that mimics the stage. And again, zero lot line on Freedom Way and Posada de Mara. So this is the color board that you're looking at. They have a combination of the siding that's proposed, as well as the sort of 3 colors of stucco, the iodized aluminum for the windows, the Core-10 steel for the canopies, and the stain for the trellises. Again, like I say, I would compliment the architect for the project. You can see how they've used the step parapets. This canopy here at the front entrance is really made to sort of mimic the stage on the other side, kind of creating that balance that's there. Some of the first floor rooms have little patios out front. So you can walk out and get fresh air, observe the farmer's market, whatever's going on in Freedom Plaza. And this is a perspective, you know, looking south. We wanted to have this side of the building really have that enhanced treatment as well, because we see the Paseo as being really active place with the restaurants and retail and bars that are coming in, that it should really complement what's happening on the other side of the parking lot there. These are elevations, so this is the front entrance there, main entrance off of Freedom Way. North elevation, front entrance again with the west elevation. And then this is really the rear of the building with the porte cochere there, with the you know, east elevation looking east here, and then the same again looking north. So now I'd like to turn it over to Nicole. She's our CEQA planner for the project, and she can give you a summary there.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, as you may be aware, the city prepared an initial study leading to a mitigated negative declaration for Project Phoenix when it was originally processed and approved. And so we have prepared an addendum to that mitigated negative declaration, because the impacts of the project are equal to or less what was analyzed under Project Phoenix, and conditions have not significantly changed. We also prepared a traffic study for a 95-room hotel to confirm that the traffic impacts would not be significant and would not be greater. And that indeed is confirmed in the traffic analysis. Because there has been no change, significant change in the environment, that the project is consistent or less impactful, we determined that it qualified for the addendum, and that the appropriate action for the commission to take here is to approve an addendum to the original mitigated negative declaration. We received one comment letter that came in this afternoon that Travis supplied to you on the dais, I believe. And although we have no obligation under CEQA to respond under an initial study to comments, I did want to address some of the statements that were made in the letter. First of all, we are not doing either an EIR or an initial study mitigated negative declaration. We are doing an addendum, contrary to the contents of the letter. The writer also asserts that we should address COVID health risk, particularly for construction workers. However, COVID, as I think all of you know, is monitored and requirements are imposed by OSHA, which is the regulating agency for employment, and all businesses are subject to their requirements. The statement was made that noise standards were not addressed in the initial study, and we did address the general plan noise standard for hotels on page 25 of the addendum. The discussion regarding consistency with the general plan, which the writer asserts is not provided, is indeed provided for regarding land use, economic development, and the housing element on page 23 of the addendum. And the assertion that greenhouse gas analysis should have been done on a gas-by-gas basis is incorrect. The MDAQMD regulates how and to what level we analyze GHGs, and we followed MDAQMD standards in our analysis. And that concludes my presentation on CEQA, and I'm glad to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions? Shall continue.
Okay, so just to remind the commission, once you've heard from the applicant and public comment, there would be two motions. One, to approve the resolution amending the MND, and the second to approve the CUP and site plan design for the hotel. A vote on each one.
Okay. Does anybody have questions before I open the public hearing?
Travis, has this letter that was presented to us been ran through our attorneys to make sure that everything is legitimate based on what she said?
Sitting right there.
Okay, perfect.
I have reviewed the letter, and I don't believe it raises any valid CEQA concerns.
Perfect, thank you. I had nothing else.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. First, would the applicant like to go ahead and speak first?
Get this right. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you guys hear me okay? My name is Atman Kadakia, managing principal here at Greens. We're thankful to be here. We're excited to be here. Want to start by thanking Travis, staff, all of staff, Frank, the whole city, for really welcoming us in here. It's been, I think, about a year, maybe a year and a half of a journey, you know, as these projects typically are of this complexity. But we're excited to finally be here. We are based in Irvine, California. We own and operate a number of hotels, apartments, gas stations, a variety of businesses. We manage all of our properties. We intend to manage this hotel as well. As Travis pointed out, our architect, Bob Tuttle, as well as our entire design team, has worked very hard in trying to design the project to fit in within the community, and we're certainly open to any suggestions, feedback, and things that may come in the future to work with local constituents. But the entire design was an uphill battle and a fight with Hilton. We fought really hard. You know, they want us to do that cookie cutter, what you see in every market, and we had to sort of play hardball, and we did. And we were successful, so we do have the brand Home2 Suite signed and confirmed, which was a really big benefit, I believe, for the city, for us, the Hilton branded property coming into town, which currently there is no Hilton branded property. Additionally, it is the first extended stay hotel coming into town, which has, as Travis pointed out, the kitchenettes in every room, which allows for guests to stay on a longer basis with some amenities that they wouldn't find in other properties. It also caters to you know, a lot of the insurance business that may come for example, floods, fires, things of that nature. Insurance companies are always looking to book extended stay hotels. A lot of times, if they can't accommodate, they go out of town. I mean, they'll send someone 20, 30 miles away because they have to provide a kitchen facility. And so not having that is a pretty significant detriment, in our opinion, in this local market. So that just a high-level summary. Don't want to take the whole evening here. I know there's others behind me, but happy to answer any questions that may come up.
I just had a couple questions. Pet friendly? I didn't catch if it was.
Atman, sorry. My name?
No, is
Oh.
the hotel pet friendly?
Pet friendly. I'm sorry. I totally misheard that. Yes, the hotel is pet friendly.
Okay. That was.
And one of the things we do in our hotel, just to accommodate that, is we put LVT floors in all of our guest rooms. So that's an upgrade from the standard carpet that you find in a lot of properties. It makes for easy cleaning, odors, things of that nature. Doesn't stick well. It's much more hygienic. So that is a kind of a design feature that we implement in our properties.
Okay, yeah, because as we were looking at the scale of it, I didn't see if there was like a pet relief area, but I heard garden, so I was just kind of trying to put it all together if it was or not. But did you guys have any questions for the applicant? Okay. Question for the applicant?
Real brief, how committed are you to a low water fountain
A low water fountain versus...
versus a dry fountain?
We're totally open. You know, we're totally open and flexible. You know, in our mind, those are elements that are designed to fit into the community. Certainly not stand out or be different, if you will. So, any suggestions that may come up on that, how to design that, things we can do, features, implementation, we're completely open to it.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't think we have any questions for you here, so we'll go ahead and call on the public.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you all.
Of course. Okay, so my first speaker, Delshawn McClellan. For which one? Okay.
Am I good?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Again, my name's Delshawn McClellan. I'm a member of the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters, which we have over 60,000 members, which a lot live in this area where they work and recreate in the vicinity of this project. And we believe we'll be impacted by the environmental impacts of this project. The city should build this project utilizing local and skilled trained workforce. A local hire and skilled trained workforce requirement reduces construction-related environmental impacts while benefiting the local economy. In a recent 2020 report titled Putting California on the High Roads, Jobs and Climate Action Plan for 2030, the California Workforce Development Board concluded that investments in growing, diversifying, upscaling California's workforce can positively affect returns on climate mitigation efforts. Other cities have not hesitated to apply skilled and trained workforce requirements for private development projects in their city. Recently, the city of Hayward, Northern California, adopted this same plan with local skilled and trained workforce requirements in its general plan and municipal codes. Local skilled and trained workforce requirements can boost economies' development and mitigate transportation and greenhouse gas impacts by minimizing miles vehicles traveled. The Planning Commission should reject the project due to admitted information regarding noise and greenhouse gas emissions. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, Peter Bocana? And your name?
My name is Ronnie Tyner. I would like to say that I live on Tamarisk Avenue, so this is really going to impact me. I've already had unbearable noise, the smell, gases. I'm opposed to this. I don't know. This is, like I said, directly going to affect me. This is actually killing me. Like I said, I live on Tamarisk. I don't exactly know where you guys plan to put this big hotel, and, I mean, you guys, Project Phoenix. God, it's just so upsetting. Caused me so much problems. They were blasting music directly into my home. This is all I got. My home on Tamarisk is all I have. I don't know where you guys live, but I don't know if you guys know the impact of what it can cause. But I want to oppose this. This is, I mean, Tamarisk. Oh my God. That's like right on my home. Okay. Well, like I said, the project site. I can't even, I don't even know, but I'm opposed to this. When they opened the Phoenix project, there was massive people around me. I was afraid for my property and my safety and my family. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Thank you for your comments. You said Ronnie?
My name is Ron, yeah.
Ronnie? Okay, thank you. Peter?
My name is Peter Bhakta, and I'm the managing partner for Holiday Inn Express right here in the town. The project architecturally is very well designed and has all these aesthetics and everything else. But my biggest problem with this is on the engineering side, especially on the wastewater treatment plant. The wastewater treatment plant is made up of two parts. One is the laundry gray water, and the second one is the sewer treatment. So when my project was built, the developer was asked to put in two separate systems. And the logic behind that was, since the laundry facility produces a lot of sodium hypochlorite and sodium hydroxide, it kills the organisms on the sewer side that basically eats up the raw sewage. So it works against it. And that's why the plant fails most of the time on the sewer side. So they made us separate the two plants out and two separate systems, because the other one doesn't have sewage and the other one doesn't. And I didn't see any provision for any of that on these plants. Secondly, I was reading up on that there's a potential sewer treatment plant that the city is going to pay for it with federal dollars. And I think when that's paid through federal dollars, I think they should honor the prevailing wages, and that should be a condition of approval. This project should be part of the prevailing wage, which this gentleman was talking about.
Did you want to answer him? Did you have a specific question? We can have maybe
So
Travis help.
basically, you need to basically condition the project for prevailing wages. Secondly, I think they need to bring back to the Planning Commission the entire study about the sewer treatment plant, because I feel it's inadequately designed currently. I have a plant that's 12,500 gallons just for the sewer treatment, and my plant operator tells me it's barely making it. This particular project has 98 dishwashers, which my hotel doesn't have dishwashers in the rooms. This has 98 of them. On top of it has a lot of public laundry, guest laundry, and the laundry for the hotel. So it's going to need a 20,000 gallon plant for itself, just for the sewer treatment plant, and maybe a 3,500 to 4,000 for the laundry system, because the way the brand dictates to everybody now, everything's washed, kept fresh, everything else. So there's a lot of laundry. There's 20 to 30 loads, and each load takes about 125 gallons.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your comments.
So hopefully you'll address them and
Yeah.
have the developer bring.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I can address the sewage issue. This would be served by the package treatment plant within Project Phoenix. It's also serving community center, cultural center, and some of the businesses downtown. All of that is permitted by the California Water Control Board. It does not go through the city, it goes through the state. They look at flows, they look at peak flows and all of that. And so the city's engineer has submitted that engineer's report to the California Water Control Board. They have approved it. That's why we're hopefully will start construction on it. So it can handle the affluent of the hotel. In fact, the report, we added a few more rooms to make it 100 rooms just to have a little extra capacity in it.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. With
Well,
affordable housing
with the
at the
housing
time.
project
Mhm.
originally.
But I mean a large enough, well,
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it was designed just for a size for a project that.
For homes, correct.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you again for.
And I would also,
Available for us as a public document, or is it just,
yes, everything's,
I couldn't find it on the internet.
Okay.
everything's available online, but
Yeah,
yes, it is.
because I can guarantee you that they're not right, they're not accurate.
Okay. Thank you
Based
for
on
your
the 20,000
comments.
gallon plant that's needed, it doesn't work practically.
Also, just would mention that the city has bought the adjoining property owner, so the plant could be, adjoining property, so the plant could be extended in the
So
future.
there are 19
Okay.
businesses
So-
sharing, and 6 restaurants, and a laundromat.
Sir?
And the hotel.
So we allow 3 minutes per person.
Yeah.
So you have some concerns and you'd like to find that information,
Yeah, so
and we'll help
basically,
you
I
afterwards
think the
address that.
City council should look at this study, because it's not accurate.
Okay. We appreciate your comments. We'll help you find the information. Eileen Leslie?
Good evening. So I own the restaurant and the new bar that I'm developing, and I would like to talk to you privately. Some things that I didn't see within the plans, and I may have just missed it, but I don't understand how there's a dining room and a market, and yet I don't see on the plans a commercial kitchen. So I don't understand where there's food prep or is prepped off-site. So I think that's an important aspect that maybe I can see on the plans. Is it right here?
Sure.
Because I
Well,
don't see
I
a
think-
commercial kitchen.
The applicant could speak to it. It's not a full-blown commercial kitchen, right?
Yeah, no, so we don't have any food for sale. We may have snacks like chips and candy, things of that nature, but we don't serve any prepared meals. We intentionally don't do that. It's really designed to help serve restaurants and bars like yourself, where our guests can go and dine at a, legitimate restaurant facility. So we don't actually have that. What we do offer in the morning is we offer a complimentary breakfast. That's, it's kind of a eat and serve breakfast that you find traditionally at these limited service hotels.
Okay, and that's fine. I don't have any, I'm not about competition. I'm not worried about that at all. I think that this is a fine mix for me, you and I. Okay, so there is no commercial kitchen, no hood, no grease traps, nothing like that's going in.
There will be, I imagine there will be a grease trap.
We probably have a grease trap, but we do not cook anything that requires a hood. Yeah. And we often put a grease trap in because we do, but we aren't cooking.
And part of the process.
Is my clock
you
stopped
can speak to
pause?
this more, just, once we do our construction drawings, we submit our drawings to the health department. The health department reviews the kitchen design, they review all the equipment that's in the kitchen, and they review what's being served, and based on that, the health department is the ultimate sort of jurisdiction, if you will, that determines what's required and not required. Most of our projects, we do end up putting in a grease trap, but it is a local health department decision that takes place.
Okay, thank
Well,
you.
then
So
that
we'll prevent the conversation, so just, you'll have your 3 minutes with us, and then we can have the applicant come up and address the podium with your questions.
Okay, so then, well, my next question would lead directly to the supermarket or the market that was described in the CUP, because then that would lead me to think it's only prepared food or no food and just snacks. Which leads me to the question about alcohol beverage control. I don't see anything within this prohibiting within the CUP or also addressing it for the future, and I do think that's very important because of the pool, because you are gonna have noise for the neighbors, and since we know with my CUP, I'm also gonna be very concerned about what I'm putting into the neighborhood, and I don't want, we have to make sure it's going to whom it's supposed to. The other thing is, I don't see anywhere where it addresses if the pool is guest only. If not, why not, or what are the fees gonna be for, non-guest? And then also on the plans, this will be my final question. I'm happy that it's the home and it's out of, home to suite, and that it's out of the Hilton project, right? So signage, will it have the Hilton sign on the building, the actual Hilton? Yeah?
Okay, so did you have any more comments?
No, that's
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
The applicant-
So,
Is anybody gonna, I would like to know if, who can I talk to, what effect it's gonna have on me?
so I do understand your comments. Right now, we're going to ask the applicant to come up and just address some of those questions that were asked. We're going to continue with the format of the meeting, and then we can address your questions afterwards. We understand, ma'am. We understand. And it's just a formatted style meeting, so we can't address that right at this moment, but your concerns are important to us. We're going to allow the applicant to continue speaking.
So I'm sorry, I didn't write down all the questions, but what came to mind was pool. It is
The-
for hotel guests
the pool.
only.
Market, what would be for sale in the market?
Okay, so yeah, so the market, I'm trying to think out loud here. Things like chips, candy, Tylenol, ice cream. We will apply for a beer and wine license through the state of California, through the whatever the process is. We do it at all of our hotels. It's an ABC license we obtain, and it's to sell beer and wine out of our treat shop, which is the snack shop, and it'd be in bottles that guests could buy. It'd be ID'd, etc.
And allowed at the pool.
I believe so. We follow the ABC, so I don't know 100% on that.
It's what you apply for. Don't be.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I really don't know. Our operations
Ma'am,
team
we'll need you to
handles that.
sit down while the applicant
Yeah.
is actually
Just giving
talking.
him the list.
No,
Right.
I understand,
yeah.
but we can address those to him.
Yeah, so we apply to the state license for it. Our operations team determines what's appropriate. They assess that, then they apply, then we follow all the government regulations that are required of us under that license.
Okay.
Are there any other
And the
questions?
last one was the signage.
Signage, are we allowed to put signage?
Yeah.
So if we are, we will.
It would be under a separate permit.
Okay, yeah, so we would put, the reason, some jurisdictions don't allow signage. I couldn't recall whether you guys do. If you guys do, we would certainly put building signage on, yes.
Okay. We have a question for you.
Yes.
To clarify in my mind,
Guys, question, yes, sir.
I have heard the term, I'm familiar with the term, a warming kitchen. Is that what you're proposing?
Is this for the commercial side,
Yes.
like for the?
Where you're just basically warming food to serve on the breakfast buffet kind of
That's
thing?
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we don't have a fryer, for example. That's not in our kitchen equipment package, and it's open 6 to 9 or 6:30 to 9:30, and it's the sort of the complimentary breakfast that's included.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I have Vino. Remember, 3 minutes.
Arlene, you have your shot. I actually welcome this H2 project. The developer is a very responsible developer. I've known them for years. I've seen their projects that they did where I sat on the city RDA board. I served 4.5 years. I'm impressed. I'm hoping, and I really like the H2 project in the sense that I feel that this would be an infill for the vacation rental. I'm praying and hoping that this project would make sure some of the vacation rentals, because of market effects it'll have, will bring them back into the rental pool that we're having at the present time. In fact, I want to talk a little bit about the present septic system. I did send staff email asking certain questions, and honestly, those questions were not answered. the present system that is served by the city serves 19 businesses and the community center. So this thing, city can sign off on 3,000 gallons. The state can sign off on 5,600 gallons. If you don't exceed 5,600, state can sign off. I've put quite a few sewer treatment plants, I know about it, in this area. So basically, the 19 businesses don't need a sewer treatment plant. Why do you want to impact the small business people to start paying towards a sewer treatment plant, because a sewer treatment plant is only needed when the hotel comes in? If the developer can give up 2 parking bays, he can put a sewer treatment plant right on his property. If he knows how to reduce his rooms and be under the 5,600 threshold, he can get a waiver from the state. So what I'm noticing in the city, and I've brought it to one of the councilmen's attention about 6 months ago, I'm seeing that the city staff, not all, and even the city fathers, they very selectively use certain codes against certain business people. And what you're doing is you're leaving the city vulnerable for a class action lawsuit someday. So you might want to look at this thing very, very seriously. Do a proper study whether the hotel really needs a sewer treatment plant, whether the small business people like Arlene needs to start paying into the sewer treatment plant that they're not paying in right now. They don't really need it, because in your report it says that the present time it doesn't need a sewer treatment plant. And the city manager, I've come to many city council meetings, has always created impression that the sewer treatment plant is gone in from day one, which is never done.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
comments. Okay, so anybody else wish to speak that didn't fill this out before I close the public hearing? Okay, go ahead and close that and bring it back up here. Any questions for staff? Jim, did you have any questions?
I'm not gonna get into the sizing of the package plant right now. But what I do wanna know is, I know that we were looking at the businesses paying into that system. Have we put together a fee schedule yet, or will that be after we put the plant in?
It's already been put together. I think
Okay.
Frank Bukina, our city manager, can address that. He's been
Okay.
heavily involved with that.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Yeah, we're working with NV5 on the development of the plant, along with Will Dan doing the rate study. One of the reasons that through the master development of the downtown, if everybody will see, there's a lot of paseos and parking lots. Most of those septic tanks used to exist in those alleys, those parking lots. So with the development of the project, septic tanks cannot exist. We've had many meetings with the regional board, and the regional board has an ultimate goal of protecting the groundwater, and this is part of the first step into the ultimate sewering. So to answer your question in a long way, Commissioner Khrushchev, yeah, all the businesses are paying into it a proportional share based on their water usage. Right now it is a sewer system connected to a septic tank. And there is approximately $60,000 worth of cost of managing that. We contract it with San Bernardino County Special Districts, which manages wastewater treatment, sewers, and plants.
Any questions? No?
I guess I have a comment. I've been a minority resident in this community for 55 years. I was a business owner, small business owner, went to school here. And I have not once seen, heard, or applied to me in any way, shape, or form any racial, if we will use that term, negative actions based on my heritage. And I think I can safely say, although I've heard that accusation from some people. We also hear other accusations that we don't like small business people, that we're extremely hard to deal with, but I want to make on the record, as a minority, I believe that statement is false to the extent of my experience. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Walk into the city manager's office one day.
I'm not arguing with you,
So,
Vino. Vino, I'm not arguing with you. I'm making a statement.
okay. So we've heard everything. We've heard from the applicant. You guys don't have any questions? Do we have a motion?
First
Correct.
one.
Motion or vote?
Correct.
Well-
Sequel motion and then the project.
Well, then I motion that we approve the resolution amending the mitigated negative declaration for Project Phoenix.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza, Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dixon,
Aye.
Chair Palahana,
Aye.
5-0 approved.
Thank you. All right, the next out of our two.
So it's for the CEQA, right?
That was
For the
CEQA.
Use permit and site plan, right?
Oh, that's the next one.
Mhm.
All right, so I make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit and site plan and design review of the CUP 22-03 Home 2 Suites Hotel.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza, Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dixon,
Aye.
Chair Palahana,
Aye.
5-0 approved.
Okay, so go to our discussion of potential action items. We have none. Community Development Director updates.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'll keep it really brief this evening, but sort of following on to Project Phoenix, we have finally received our street furniture for the project. I know we've gotten a lot of comments about how come there aren't benches and more receptacles and things like that. Well, like everybody else, we've been suffering supply chain issues, and so 8 months later, we finally get in what we ordered. So it's here. Hopefully that will go up soon. And the other supply chain issue that we're finally getting resolved is the equipment for the Culinary Arts Kitchen. So this will be the teaching kitchen in Project Phoenix. As you know, the city has a partnership with Morongo Unified School District as well as Copper Mountain College to utilize the kitchen as a teaching facility. So that equipment's starting to come in, looks really great. Hopefully we'll have it all here before the start of the school year, and be able to provide tours of that. So those are my only two updates here.
Perfect. Thank you. Seeing as we have no study sessions, I'll go ahead. Did you have something else?
Nope.
Okay. You look like you're about to say something. Then I will adjourn this meeting.